We got another excellent Conor McGregor interview to break down. Now, it appears he has only two personalities. It's either very high or very low. There is no in between with this guy anymore, all right? It's either he's very high or he's off of it and he's very low energy. And in this interview with the Schmo, he's very low energy. It's very reminiscent of the Jake Gyllenhaal Roadhouse interview that this was infamous. So I'll play that in a second. We'll also get into the comments here, and it really shows how many people in this world are NPCs that have no critical thinking skills whatsoever. They think it's like, some people think he's completely sober now and he looks in great shape, ready to fight. So in this interview, we'll get into it. He talks about a trilogy with Nate Diaz. He talks about doing the Chandler fight. He talks about doing a Poirier fourth fight because they're both 1-1 with one no contest. He's not doing any of those fights. Maybe Chandler, but that's it. He's fighting in the Middle East for BKFC. We all know this. So yeah, we'll get into this interview, and the name of this on my thumbnail is, in the great words of the great Nate Diaz, oh, so you're a pretender now. And when I say pretender, I mean everyone involved with anything to do with Conor McGregor, even myself. Well, I'm not, actually no, because I'm not pretending. Like the Schmo interviewing him, pretending everything's okay. His buddies that you'll see in the back, I'm probably blocking it. Just everyone in Conor McGregor's life just pretends like nothing is going on, including Conor McGregor himself, just acting like nothing's going on. Everything's okay. So let's get into this interview. All right, McGregor is just eyeing him down from the distance here. Like a fucking mafia boss.
Mr. McGregor.
Like all these people.
Time to meet you.
Sorry, I keep pausing. It's just all these people. This guy, I think, like the McGregor fast dude. He's his like trainer. There's all these people. Notorious Buck. He's wearing a Conor McGregor shirt. This guy's wearing a Conor McGregor shirt. All these people don't say anything at all. They are just following the money. They don't give a crap that this guy here is destroying himself. They all look very just uncomfortable too.
I've never met you before, haven't I? First time around the way. I know of you. You're doing good work, so nice. I appreciate you. We ready to go? Straight away.
I don't know what's going on in the back here. Like these two girls were gossiping about something.
I appreciate you. We ready to go? Straight away. This is the Schmo with the first man to hold two belts at the same time in UFC history. He's the face of the fight game. He's the face of the stout game. He's the face of the whiskey game. And now he's the face of the energy game. Yes, sir.
I like how all the guys get out of the shot, except the women. They're just like, nah, we're going to get in this interview here. Again, probably totally not gold diggers.
What's the crackin', lad?
Schmowsy, what's the crack?
Conor McGregor in the flesh, Sin City, how we do it? What's the crack, my man?
Schmow, what's the crack, my man? Yeah, what's happening? Connor, thanks for taking the call. So, I'm the Schmo, and how do you feel about last night, Connor? what's the crack, lad? Schmowsy, what's...
And the Schmo is just basically saying right now, yeah, I know Conor. It's just so funny. He edits this into his video, showing that he knows Conor McGregor is a crackhead and he's crazy, but then does the interview like nothing's happening.
What's the crack?
All good here. Rocking it with Booked Up. Team Booked Up. We're doing big things. Team Booked Up, it's great to see you. What's it like to be driving a Lamborghini yacht for all of us common folk? It's beautiful, my man. I right now, currently, it's in trek across from Ibiza to Marbella, along with my other vessel, and, you know.
So we get into the great questions. How's it like driving a Lamborghini yacht? No one gives a fuck. Nobody cares. And you've probably noticed Conor McGregor's very low energy. what I think this is he knows he cannot right now drink and he cannot snort. So he's off of it for a little more than maybe 10 hours right now, and he is really feeling it. Really feeling the pressure.
You know, in preparation for Bare Knuckle Fighting Championships flagship event on DAZN. So the two ships are going to be in the marina in Marbella, and I'm, meeting up with my family in a few days, and I'm very excited about it. So the yachts will be there.
It's all going down next week, but who's the most worthy man to get a red panty night to be fighting you, Conor McGregor?
Look at his eyes. Look at his eyes, and just watch it, and then his smile too at the end. But look at his eyes. This man is stressing right now. He is stressed. I feel exhausted watching him.
Who's the most worthy man to get a red panty night to be fighting you, Conor McGregor?
And that is the cocaine when he goes. That's the side effects right there.
Yeah, now we're looking for the date. Hopefully, I'd like to square it away with Michael Chandler. I'd like to get Chandler in. We've had our beef. It's not settled. He has a match scheduled. I'd like to fight maybe before that, or before he's recovered or whatnot. So, there's a few names in the line at the minute. There's a few names being discussed.
But what would be more satisfying for you, getting a trilogy with Nate Diaz or the quadrilogy with Dustin Poirier?
And it's very interesting how he looks around the room like he's barely keeping attention for the Schmo here.
Getting a trilogy with Nate Diaz or the quadrilogy with Dustin Poirier?
Both of them. Both is a must, for sure. The Dustin one's not settled. It's 1-1-1. And the Diaz one is also 1-1. So, two big blockbuster matches, and I'll be excited to get them locked in.
Like, why even say it? Diaz hasn't been in the UFC for the last year, and he's been saying this. Conor has been saying this, that he wants to do the third fight with Diaz. It's a must. He's been saying this technically since 2016, but I remember it was 2018. I remember specifically it was 2018, and they were tweeting, and Conor was saying, "Oh, the Diaz fight is a must. The trilogy is a must." And this was in 2018.
Alex Pereira at heavyweight? We got to see it. You're calling for it the other night.
Yeah, I think that would be a viable next move for him. I think he had a difficult enough weight cut, if you could see. Now, in fairness, his coach came out and said he was maybe under the weather. He was on antibiotics. I've experienced something similar. It makes everything that much more difficult. So maybe he is fine at light heavyweight. There is one more matchup for him at light heavyweight that I'd be interested in, is against the Dagestani. But other than that, I'd like to see him go for it. Someone has to go for the three belts. It's myself or himself. And, I'm sure one of us will aspire to it in the future.
Who would...
Yeah, and even here, Conor McGregor says that Alex Pereira, before going up to heavyweight, needs to fight the Dagestani. I can't remember his name right now, and I think neither can Conor. Or Conor just refers to those people as Dagestanis. But yeah, Pereira needs to fight him, and the UFC needs to stop protecting him.
Conor McGregor say he is the pound-for-pound number one guy at this very moment, fighter in the world.
2024 has been Alex Pereira's year. Yeah. No one can deny that. And if we go by that, forget belts, forget any of that. It's in competition. He's 4 fights this year, 4 KOs, and his most impressive one was most recently. I'd put Alex as number one. I think he poses a lot of problems for John also. That's a dangerous style for John. But
it's not a dangerous style for John. John will wrestle him and beat him just like he beat Cyril Gane. That's my prediction, guys. If Alex Pereira ever fought John Jones would wrestle him to the ground. John Jones wouldn't even entertain striking with him. He would wrestle him immediately and submit him immediately. I don't even want to see that fight. I don't want to see it. I really don't want to see it. There are some stylistic matchups where I don't want to watch. Specifically strikers, all right? I don't want to watch Izzy versus Hamzat. Hamzat. Well, I do, because I know Hamzat would destroy Izzy. And that's what I want to see. But in terms of a good match, it's not. Hamzat would just wrestle Izzy, and that's why Izzy avoided him. I wouldn't want to see, for example, McGregor versus Islam. Islam would just wrestle him instantly and destroy him. Islam did this to, I always forget names. I can't believe I'm forgetting the names. The guy who trains with Volkanovski and Izzy. I always forget names when I record videos. I promise, guys, I'm not a casual. The guy who trains with Volkanovski and Izzy, Islam fought him, made him tap quick. Also, it's the black dude who fought. Oh god, I'm sounding like a casual now. It's the black dude who fought Paddy Pimblett and got submitted. Islam fought him and tapped him immediately. Also, Hamzat fought Kevin Holland, tapped him immediately. There's some matchups that I don't want to see. It's when a wrestler fights a pure striker. Like a good wrestler fights a pure striker. Those are so boring.
It's a decent one for him because he's not, so big. John is new to the heavyweight division. John, he had a nice one against Cyril Gane, but he's still untested at heavyweight. And I'm sure in the back of his mind, he has that thought that, some of these guys are really big. Alex is a nice one.
His eyes from the side. It's just, he's struggling.
And it's still a dangerous one though. Probably even at the core of it, it's probably even more dangerous. I'd be very excited to see that bout take place for sure.
So we got to see John Jones fight beyond the Stipe fight, but who's on your Mount Rushmore of greatest fighters of all time? Obviously, we can include you.
How many is on Mount Rushmore? 4. Hoist Gracie, Chuck Liddell, myself, and Ronda Rousey.
Well said. All right, it's time to get bucked up, my man. This is your official flavor. Here we go.
Yes, this is the orange drink. Oh, crack it open. Hoover it up. Hoover, my man. Love the suit.
I think it's time to do one thing and one thing only now that we're bucked up. All right, final message for all the Conor McGregor fans out there worldwide.
Stay tuned. We're in Marbella this week. Lamborghini yacht and big super yacht. And we got 3 world titles on the line. Musical performances from our Greenback Records artists, Kodak Black, Exhibit, Dizzy Rascal. And 3 world title fights on the line. We've got the lightweight world title, we've got the middleweight world title, and we've got the welterweight world title. And boy, oh boy, is it going to be a war in an open-air bullfighting.
Talking about the upcoming BKFC event, I assume. And there's really not much left.
And we're going to go watch these fights. So if you're around, you're more than welcome. Meet these athletes. These are a different breed of fighter. It's the most violent.
And he's trying to get the Schmo to interview the BKFC athletes, and I don't think Schmo has any interest in doing so.
Sport on the market today, bar none. And our fighters are characters. Our fighters, not only are they warriors, they're characters. They must be to engage in a sport like this. So, I'm looking forward to it this coming Saturday.
The most iconic fighter and athlete of the 21st century. He's the pro. I'm the Schmo. We're out.
I was thinking of Dan Hooker was the guy I was thinking of that Islam beat easily. All right, I only remember that now. It came to my mind because Kobe Covington said he's a hooker. All right, if you look at the comments here, genuinely the calmest and most normal I've seen Conor in 4 years. No, this was the same exact representation of what we just saw. And he's not calm. He's honestly probably more closer to snapping than when he is actually high energy. Because someone give him a coffee and a cigarette. Well, don't give him the cigarette. Maybe a coffee. Just don't give him the alcohol or cocaine. Conor is clearly timid in front of the legend. So I think Conor is trying to get sober again. Props to him. He's not. He looked a lot calmer in this interview. Okay, so just because he hasn't done any type of drug in 4 hours doesn't mean he's trying to get sober. All right. Conor is actually really humble and smart when he's sober. just acting normal doesn't mean you're humble or smart. It's why do they say when he's, I guess when he's sober, he's not on anything. You have no idea if he's, I mean, he could have been taking stuff. He just hasn't taken a bunch of stuff. But he could have snorted something before this. You don't know. Oh, even there. Just I go to one random part in the video and just look at that face. See if we can find one more stupid comment. Sober Conor is chill as fuck. I don't think so. I think it's really uncomfortable because it looks like he's really struggling to talk. Holy shit, Schmo. So happy you got this opportunity. Didn't disappoint either. He asked like 4 questions and they weren't very good questions anyway. Red Panty Night interview. Let's see. This was 1 day ago. I guess 222K. Wow, this is the most sober and clear-talking McGregor I've seen in a long time. I know his throat sounds a little raspy, but that may be more due to shouting and a lot of speaking. Could be the side effects of cocaine, because the cocaine can inflame your vocal cords. And clear talking, just because he's not jumping around doesn't mean he's clear talking. He wasn't very clear talking. He also looks a lot lighter now. Must be ready to fight soon. What? Looks a lot lighter. He looks like he hasn't exercised or lifted weights in forever. He's not looking like he's ready to fight soon. He's not cutting weight or anything like that. All right. So he sounds a lot like this. And for all the comments from this video saying, oh, he's sober. He looks like he's like taking a break. And oh, he looks like he's ready to fight soon. He looked like this. And did he fight?
But
and look at his eyes. It's the exact same.
Yeah, I mean, also it's important to know what it feels like. In the spar, I did that particularly in preparation for Southpaw. There was a lot of sparring and understanding the feeling. You can't play a fighter unless you know what that's like. But no, we stayed as careful as we could the whole time, and he was always he was good to me, and I sometimes had to remind him.
Like, right when he touches Conor, his reaction, Conor just reacts right away, like he's zoned out.
Always he was good to me, and I sometimes had to remind him. Like,
I landed one punch
once,
and he hit me with a door.
All right. So hear how he talks in this interview.
We've done a good job.
Hard for you, Conor?
A stunt team, Garrett Warden and Steve Brown, and they were phenomenal with us. They gave us free rein, and we've done a good job.
See, it's he talks the exact same way as in the previous interview.
On set, very little rest. It was strange to me, but you know, the fight scenes, I was happy to give my input and my oar. And Jake, as I said, is a consummate professional. We've done a good job.
Just some twitching is the only difference. He's not twitching in the Schmo interview, but it's the exact. I even think he's licking his lips here too.
You know, 2024 has been Alex Pereira's year. Yeah. No one can deny
identical.
that. And you know,
identical.
If we go by that, you know, forget belts, forget any of that. It's incompetent.
So I say this every time. I don't know the people in his life, if they have no power over anything with him, the least they can do is just stop enabling him and get out of his life. Just let him see. Let him see, like, there's consequences. People will stop seeing you. And it's just, these people just let him do whatever, even though he's destroying himself. They don't care. It's so ridiculous. And like I made this in my last Conor McGregor video. Dee Devlin should have left him a long time ago. And she's still there. Anyway, guys, like, subscribe. See you in the next one.